Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm 16. To be honest, I always thought my life was perfect. I adored my parents and my twin sister Bianca. I was also the head of our family. They called me Family Emily because I was always organizing all sorts of events for us. Family picnics, photo shoots, I even ran a family blog. And you know, people thought we were the coolest family in town. Mrs. Donovan, a psychologist and a life coach, even wrote a book about us. Family as it should be. Everyone looked at us like they were thinking, wow, this is true love and friendship. To be honest, I believed we were the best too. But then, my world was turned upside down. One day, our parents said they were going on a business trip for about a week. They worked together, so they were never apart, even at work. My stomach was in knots because they never left us all by ourselves for so long before. Of course, Bianca was staying with me, but she couldn't replace Mom and Dad. On the first day, I just wandered around the house, scrolled through my phone, and looked at old photos in my blog, bored out of my mind. Then I walked into my parents' closet and sniffed their clothes. I know it sounds weird, but they smelled like Mom and Dad, and that made me feel better. And there, in their closet, I found an old, dusty box full of photographs. I saw baby pictures of Bianca and myself. They were so cute, it almost brought tears to my eyes. But then, I saw something that made my hand shake. There was another baby in one of the photos. The girl looked just like Bianca and me. I turned the photo around and read Emily, Bianca, and Rachel? I called Bianca and we kept rummaging through the box. There were some letters and postcards in it. From the look of things, we had another sister. We were triplets. I couldn't believe it. Why didn't our parents tell us about her? Of course, I immediately called Mom and Dad, but their phones were off. They were on the road and out of range. I felt betrayed. We were a family, and family was sacred. How could they hide the fact that we had a sister from us? Then, I got an idea. I was going to find Rachel. According to the letters we found, she lived on a farm in a neighboring state with our uncle and aunt. We need to see her. All the way there, I tried to imagine what she'd be like. I thought Rachel would be just like Bianca and me, that she would be happy to see us, that we would hug, laugh, take selfies together, and our family would finally be complete. Spoiler alert, that is not what happened. When we arrived at the farm, we saw a girl in jeans and cowboy boots. Her hair was in a braid. Rachel didn't look like us at all. She was confident and a little rude. It was clear that she had a life of her own. Ha! I knew you'd come someday. You knew? It turned out that our uncle and aunt had told her the truth years ago. Apparently, our parents couldn't afford to raise 3 children, so they had left Rachel with them. What? Did our parents really abandon their daughter and then hid it from us? I thought they were perfect. I tried to explain to Rachel that we were a family and should be together, but she just smiled and said that she already had a family. She didn't look unhappy. On the contrary, it seemed Rachel was doing just fine, and she wasn't sitting around waiting for us to show up. Rachel, you just don't know how awesome it is to live together yet. We always do everything as a family. You should come with us. It's going to be great. Why would I do that? I'm fine here. Her words really stung. I'd always believed that nothing was more important than family, and now my sister was saying that she was fine without us. I decided I needed to show her what she's missing. First, I showed Rachel a slideshow of our family photos. I picked all the sweetest moments, picnics, birthdays, trips to the seaside. Oh look, that day, Dad fell off the boat and Mom laughed until she cried. And this is us making Christmas cookies. I hoped it would move Rachel to tears and she would decide to join us. But no. Cool pictures, but this is your life, not mine. I almost exploded like a pressure cooker. We needed to impress her. So Bianca and I organized a family dinner like we did at home. We set a large table, lit candles, and turned on music. I even gave everyone tasks. Our dad usually told jokes, and Mom always praised the food, and Bianca and I laughed and interrupted each other. I made sure everyone knew their role. Girls, we usually just eat our dinner without putting on a show. I almost burst into tears, but I didn't give up. The next day, I drew a huge poster, 10 golden rules of our family, calling each other every day, having dinner together, arranging photo shoots, helping me with the blog. It was all there. I hung it right in the living room.
Emily, we don't need rules to love each other.
I I stood there with my poster and felt like I couldn't do anything right. Bianca was already getting tired of it all. Isn't it enough? Maybe we should go home. You don't get it. We are family. We should be together. Okay. That evening, I talked to my uncle and aunt. What I'd learned took the wind out of my sails. It turned out that Mom and Dad had come to get Rachel once. She was about 10 years old at the time. She looked at them like they were strangers. Mom and Dad realized it was too late. They decided to leave everything as it was. I sat there in shock and tried to process it all. Okay, I'll talk to Mom. I called her, and this time, Mom answered. Why didn't you tell us about our other sister? We're a family.
What sister? Emily, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mom, I've met Rachel. She's our triplet. Emily, stop talking nonsense. It's just you and Bianca. That's it. I don't have time for this. She hung up, and I stared at my phone. What was that? By the way, I called Dad. You know what he said? That we had another sister, but she died at birth. What? They are both lying and can't even get their story straight. Looks like it. I decided to deal with that later. For now, my main goal was convincing Rachel to come back with us. I refused to take no for an answer. It will be great. We will do everything together. You won't leave me alone, will you? Nope. Okay. I'll come back with you on one condition. You will stay with me for 3 days first. No problem. I felt more determined than ever. But then, Bianca suddenly moaned in pain. My tooth. I can't take it anymore. We're on a family mission. I need to go to the dentist. I can't even eat. I tried to talk her out of it, but she insisted. We hugged. See you later, sis. I'll miss you. And so she left, and I stayed. On the first day, I helped Rachel around the farm. We carried some boxes around, fed the chickens, and then went horseback riding. By the evening, I was exhausted. Now let's go on a walk with my friends. Sure, let's go out. We were out until late at night. I kept waiting for our uncle and aunt to call Rachel and ask her, where are you? When will you be back? But they didn't even text her. Aren't they worried at all? Of course they are, but they trust me. I don't have to report to them every second. That shocked me. Back home, Mom and Dad always knew where we were and who we were with. But Rachel was free. What about family dinners, though? For us, dinner is just a meal. If I'm hungry, I know where the fridge is. The next day, Rachel and I helped our uncle fix his car. Well, Rachel was helping, and I was just watching them.
You're my best partner.
Such simple, earnest words. For the first time, I realized that they were close too, in their own way, without any grand speeches or staged photo shoots. What do you do for the holidays? Nothing special. Sometimes we roast corn and play card games. I sat there and wondered how it all worked. They didn't have our perfect family rules, but looked happy. I called Bianca to tell her about it. She was sitting at home eating something and watching a TV show. How's your tooth?
What tooth?
That's when I realized that Bianca hadn't had a toothache. She just left me. We are a family. How could you lie to me?
Oh, you and your talks about family. I'm so sick of it. Give me a break.
It felt like my world had turned upside down. I couldn't believe that my own sister had just said that. That night, I tossed and turned for a long time. Thoughts of everything that had happened in the last few days kept running through my head. Rachel was happy and didn't need us in her life. Mom and Dad lied to us. Bianca had run home because she was tired of me and all our family rules. For the first time, I wondered, would Rachel even be happy if I dragged her to my home? She had our uncle and aunt, her friends, and a life of her own. You know what? You won. I'm going back home. Finally. At home, I immediately pounced on Bianca. What's wrong with you? We're family, but you act like you don't care. When will you stop? I'm tired of pretending all the time. I have interests of my own. I want to dress differently, live my life, and not act for your perfect blog. So you don't care about your family. I do. I'm just not like you. That pissed me off, and I went to my room. In the evening, our parents came home. I thought they would comfort me. Mom, Dad, Bianca is betraying the family values. She doesn't care about everything we built. But then I noticed something weird. Mom came back tan, but Dad had warm clothes in his bag. He also had pictures of himself skiing on his phone. Wait, hold on. Where exactly did you go? The thing is, we weren't together. I was on a beach and your father went skiing. What?
We're tired, Amy. We're just tired.
I've been on antidepressants for years, and your father has a punching bag in the basement to vent his irritation. We act happy all the time, but it's hard for us. I couldn't believe it. The parents I thought were perfect were actually barely holding on. And then I thought of Rachel. She was happy without any mask while we were playing at being a happy family and struggling to put up with each other. What about Rachel? Tell me the truth. You are triplets. When you were born, it was hard for us. 3 babies at once, it was unbearable. We were exhausted and fought all the time. In the end, we gave Rachel to my sister and her husband. But that's terrible.
We thought it would be better that way, but it didn't help. We even wanted to get divorced.
That's when we met Mrs. Donovan. She convinced us that a family should stay together no matter what, that we had to make sacrifices. She has a lot of children of her own, and she said that family was sacred. And you listened to her?
She's an expert. We attended her courses, and she taught us how to be a family the right way. Eventually, we got used to playing roles, but it got harder and harder as time went by.
My parents' words made my blood boil. Mrs. Donovan, that life coach, what has she done to my parents? We're going to see her tomorrow. She should fix everything.
Is that a good idea?
Of course. The next day, the 4 of us came to Mrs. Donovan's place. She seemed confused when she opened the door and saw us.
What are you doing here?
We came for a consultation. She let us in, but it was obvious she wasn't happy about it. And then I noticed something strange. There were no family pictures in the house, and there were no family members around either. Where is everyone? You've always said that you have a husband and lots of children.
It's none of your business.
You've been teaching us how to be a perfect family for years. But what about yourself? Do you live alone?
That's enough. Get out of my house.
I'm not leaving until you tell us the truth.
Fine. I don't have a family. I never did. I don't even know what it means to be a parent or live together. I just made up all that nonsense to make money off people like you.
My parents sat there pale as snow.
So all this time, we paid you for nothing? You were not the first, and you will not be the last.
After that, we got up and left. I felt angry, wronged, and empty all at the same time. We lived by the rules for so many years. We'd made sacrifices, played roles, and suffered. She made us miserable. But we can only blame ourselves for trusting her. Ever since then, life at home changed. We stopped acting. Bianca immediately spread her wings. She became a rocker and dressed accordingly. Ripped jeans, leather jackets, studded bracelets. Her new friends were rockers too. They came over to our garage and rehearsed all the time. In the past, I would have thrown a fit and said they're ruining our family image. But now, I just watched them and thought that my sister looked happy. Mom and Dad changed too. They quit the company they worked at together. Mom got a job in a small cafe and Dad became a fitness coach. Now they spent time separately and that made them much calmer and more cheerful. We still spent time together but didn't take perfect photos for a blog anymore. We just enjoyed ourselves. We even visited Rachel and her adoptive parents a couple of times. At some point, I realized that being a family does not mean being together and acting perfect 24/7. Being a family means being there for each other. It means being free. Love is not about control, but about trust. And you know what? I felt better once I realized that. I was still great at organizing events and generating ideas, but now it was just a hobby for me. I didn't organize stage photo shoots anymore and captured real moments instead. At first, I just took photos of Bianca and her friends. Then I brought my camera with me when I walked around town, went to cafes, school. I captured happiness, sadness, friendships, even fights. It was all real. I truly enjoyed it. I started to post photos and short stories on my blog, not just about our family, but about life in general. My followers loved it. They commented that my photos seem more real and unique now. And I realized I found my calling, showing life as it is without faking anything. Things at home are different now. Everyone has their own interests and spaces. We are not a perfect family like the ones in ads. We're just real. And I think that's much better. Share in the comments, what is your family like? And don't forget to like my story.